All right, a very good evening to you and special thanks for joining us tonight, the 9th day of November 2024, the culmination of a week that we have witnessed one of the greatest political comebacks in history. Think about this: a man impeached twice, indicted 4 times, and convicted once. But yet again, this man makes one of the greatest comebacks to one of the most powerful state houses in the country and becomes the 47th president of the United States of America. Of course, this has been the highlight of this week. Donald Trump elected 47th president of the United States of America. And well, that being in order as the highlight of the week, let's get an introduction of tonight's broadcast.
This is Weekend Live with Theo Macharia.
All right, and just before we get it started, remember this broadcast is also coming to you live on our social media platforms, YouTube at KUTV News Kenya, or even on X at KUTV_Kenya. Interact with us, talk to us. We also want to know the highlight of your week, just as we have mentioned earlier. And our sign language interpreter for tonight is Lucy Kiarie, and my name once again is Theo Macharia. Let's bring you up pace and candid with the latest shaping your world of news nationally, locally, and even beyond. We start. President William Ruto has reached out to United States President-elect Donald Trump, whose impending leadership has seemingly put into question the state of a series of agreements between Kenya and the outgoing Joe Biden's administration. Among this is a multinational security support mission in Haiti that bears a significant backing from the United States.
President-elect Donald Trump's victory in the recently held U.S. elections, Kenya's trade and investment deals that began during Joe Biden's administration have been thrown into uncertainty. Perhaps to weed out the uncertainty, President William Ruto on Friday evening had a phone conversation with Trump, congratulating him for his victory even as he prepares to take charge of the White House for a second term. In a statement, Ruto said they discussed areas of mutual interest for Kenya and the United States, including trade, security, and good governance. A key matter in these talks was the multinational security support mission in Haiti, led by Kenyan forces. The mission, which began in June, has been key in trying to contain the gang warfare in the Caribbean nation. The return of the Republican at the helm of the United States puts the question in the fulfillment of a pledge of up to 38.5 billion shillings by the President Joe Biden's regime, with Trump set to take office in January next year. This comes with the National Police Service revealing yesterday that 600 national police officers drawn from various law enforcement departments were ready for deployment in the Kenyan-led multinational security support mission in Haiti. The option of transitioning the mission to a United Nations peacekeeping mission has also been tabled to curb the financial challenges, with at least 400 officers having already been deployed to Haiti from Kenya. Emmanuel Kutosi, KUTV.
President William Ruto has declared his administration's intent to ensure a successful implementation of the universal health coverage through the Social Health Authority. Speaking during celebrations of the 20th anniversary of the All Pajeta Conservancy, Ruto defended the new Social Health Insurance Fund SHIF, noting that the program aims to expand healthcare access for disadvantaged families, emphasizing that challenges faced during the transition would not disrupt its implementation.
Tulisema pale mbeleni, hatutaki mambo ya afya iwe ni starehe ya watu wanaojiweza. Tunataka mambo ya afya iwe ni haki ya kila Mkenya. Kwa mara ya kwanza, kila Mkenya atakuwa na bima ya afya. Either utajilipia mwenyewe kama uko na uwezo, na kama huna uwezo, serikali ya Kenya itakulipia bima hiyo. Hatutaki tena mwananchi aende hospitalini alafu aambiwe ati wewe huna uwezo, uko na ugonjwa wa kansa ama saratani ama hypertension ama diabetes, unaambiwa wewe enda nyumbani ungojee kifo kwa sababu huna uwezo. We want to stop that. That is inhuman. Tumesema ya kwamba tukienda mbele katika Taifa Care ambayo tumepangia vizuri, tuko na sheria ya kutosha, tuko na mpango ya kutosha, na tutabadilisha Kenya hii kwa mapenzi ya Mungu mpaka kila mtu aende hospitali atibiwe, aende nyumbani bila ya kuulizwa pesa yoyote. That is our commitment and that is our plan, and we will deliver on it.
Raila Odinga's bid to become the next chairperson of the African Union Commission is gaining momentum across Africa. With the launch of his manifesto in Addis Ababa, Raila pledged to promote trade, financial independence and gender equality in Africa. The former Prime Minister will be vying against Mohammed Ali of Djibouti, Anil Kumar Singh Gayan of Mauritius, and former Madagascar Foreign Affairs Minister Richard James Riandriamandrato. Blue Smile Hassan with this report.
It will take all of us, leaders, innovators, and every citizen working collaboratively to dismantle barriers, foster unity, and pursue excellence. Together, let us harness our collective power to create a future where Africa stands tall on the global stage, an emblem of resilience.
Overall, in the Honorable Raila, we have a compact and complete leadership package that is founded on teamwork, boldness in decision-making, Pan-Africanism, and responsive to the collective and unique aspirations of each member state.
And so we present to you a leader who's run the marathon, who understands the need for endurance, the need for resilience, the need for focused tenacity, the need to never give up, to never yield ground until it's done. The Right Honorable Raila Amolo Odinga.
Now, in his visit to Botswana, Deputy President Kithure Kindiki has held a series of high-level talks with Botswana's President Duma Gideon Boko, with the talks seeking to strengthen bilateral ties between the two countries. DP Kithure Kindiki highlighted that the ties were important at such a time as this, where the world has been witnessing the disruptive effects of climate change, such as devastating floods, famine, and displacement that now extends beyond food security to pose existential threats.
Kenya and Botswana have strengthened their long-standing bilateral relations through a series of high-level talks held in Gaborone. The discussions, led by Kenya's Deputy President on behalf of President William Ruto and President Duma Gideon Boko of Botswana, highlighted both countries' commitment to cooperation in areas such as climate change, trade, tourism, education, health, and renewable energy. Kenya, which values Botswana as a continental partner, emphasized the impact of climate change on food security, agriculture, and overall national stability. Deputy President Kithure Kindiki noted that as at now the world has been witnessing the disruptive effects of climate change, such as devastating floods, famine, and displacement that now extend beyond food security to pose existential threats.
We are looking at, even as we look at complex security threats like terrorism and organized crime, climate change is no longer in the view of President Ruto. It's no longer food security, agriculture, humanitarian matter. It's a national security, international security problem.
Other key areas discussed include trade in coffee and tea, beef farming, horticulture, floriculture, and regional peace and security. Furthermore, Kenya presented its request for Botswana's support in backing Raila Odinga's bid for the chairmanship of the African Union Commission. Currently, over 1,200 Kenyan professionals live and work in Botswana, contributing to local sectors such as governance and education. Yvonne Kimuma, KUTV.
All right, many thanks Yvonne Kemuma for that comprehensive report. Let's now move on. The Directorate of Criminal Investigation, DCI, is calling on members of the public who may have fallen prey to fraudsters impersonating DCI officials to give information on the happenings to police or to the DCI. This comes after the DCI arrested 2 scammers who paraded as detectives and extorted 200,000 shillings from a member of the public. The 2 suspects, Nicholas Okoth and David Otieno, lured the victim into their scam by claiming that they would expedite an ongoing investigation.
Access to knowledge, solution to unanswered questions.
Guidelines to pursuing your rights and repossessing your property, intellectual or material.
This and more only on Law Matters.
To many, farming is just an income-generating endeavor. But for the students with intellectual disabilities at Treeside Special School, farming is more than a curriculum lesson.
The therapy of going to practical, to do, and that feeling of I'm able to, is brought clear that I'm able to do just like what I saw my brother doing at home.
Guided by their teachers, these students engage in organic farming both in the open farm and the greenhouse.
Chemicals and disabilities, they don't rhyme. We should not make our children more disabled by eating chemicals.
Join me, Anyango Sylvia, this Sunday as we explore how farming in the competency-based curriculum is therapeutic to special need learners, building their confidence and social skills.
Katika maisha yetu ya leo, wakulima na jamii nyingi kwa ujumla wanakumbatia teknolojia mbalimbali na kilimo hai ili kuondoa magonjwa sugu na kuongeza usalama na utoshelevu wa chakula. Mbolea asili imepunguza asidi kwenye udongo na kuongeza mavuno chungu nzima. Wajua tuko shambani, na humu shambani pia kuna ng'ombe, kuna kuku, na wanaacha uchafu wao. Na huo uchafu si wa kutupwa, ni wa kutumika katika kilimo kama mbolea. Kwa sababu mimea hii imekuwa kutumia mbolea ya hawa wanyama. Wakulima mbalimbali wamekumbatia teknolojia ili kuokoa gharama ya ukulima na kutumia nafasi zilizopo katika mashamba yao.
You are Weekend Live with Theo Macharia.
All right, welcome back to the broadcast on this day, the 9th day of November 2024. Keep interacting with us on our social media platforms, YouTube at KUTV News Kenya, or even on X at KUTV_Kenya. Talk to us and tell us what has been the highlight of your week. We proceed where the government is set to boost employment through the recruitment of agripreneurs as part of Kenya's bottom-up economic transformation agenda, or BETTER, which emphasizes agricultural advancement to secure 100% food and nutrition security. Chief of Staff and Head of Public Service Felix Koskei announced this initiative during a visit to Migori County, where he laid a foundation stone for Madaras Senior School and inspected the Lower Kuja irrigation project in Nyatike sub-county. Koskei introduced 300 newly recruited youth agripreneurs in Migori, highlighting the government's goal of creating job opportunities while empowering youth to support farmers in the rice, sugar and other agricultural sectors under BETTER. The agripreneurs' aim is to transform rural farming from subsistence to commercialized production, with an emphasis on youth engagement and digital innovation.
The government has its plan still to roll out more landing sites. I want us to improve our techniques. I want us to turn our fishing into a business. Not to go and fish one or two and then you come, you sell one, you come and eat another one, and you sleep for tomorrow, you go back. Transform yourselves into business people in fishing industry.
In order for us to have our financial services, access to finances, agriculture is the key, because Nyatike has land and we have a big river here and we can do irrigation. These young people will help us produce food to feed us, and also food for us to have raw materials and agri-business, including agri-based industries.
And the national government has pledged to support the devolved units in improving the health and agriculture departments at grassroots levels. Presidential Advisor on Health Dr. Augustine Cheruyot, who spoke in Bomet during the inspection of a medical facility in the county, said the two levels of government will work together as a team under the bottom-up economic model. Nandi Governor Professor Hilary Barchok disclosed that the list of medical equipment required have already been issued to the national government and partners. Barchok further lauded the shift from NHIF to SHA, saying those opposing the new health insurance should be patient and support it as it is out to benefit Kenyans.
So we have discussed that we need to work together to ensure that the cooperatives are operationalized and are operational in every ward. The national government are working with the county government to put together a team of extension staff, which we call them agripreneurs. I think within maybe this month the governor will be launching, where I think we are getting at least 5 extension staff in every ward to support our farmers, to enhance productivity, so that as a country we are full self-sufficient. We used to spend close to $4 billion every year as a country to import food. So we want to change that around, to ensure that our farmers are the ones producing the food instead of importing. So this county prioritizes a number of value chains like dairy. We have discussed at length what we need to do as a county to maximize the returns to our farmers. First, by ensuring that the cooperatives are working, ensuring that the officers in extension, including the AI service provision to the farmers, is operational, and ensuring that the farmers are getting the right price of 50 shillings per litre by working with new KCC and other processors. So we have discussed at length with the officers, and I think we have agreed on a framework on how we are going to work together to support them, to strengthen the delivery of those services around the cooperatives and mainly milk production.
% of our land in Bomet is arable. It can support animals and also, I think, a variety of crops, if not all the crops. And we need to strengthen that. Of course, there are value chains that are being promoted, and we are aligning ourselves with the agenda of the Kenya Kwanza government.
The COP29 Climate Summit is due to get underway on Monday in Baku, Azerbaijan, a country whose economy is largely based on selling fossil fuels. Over 12 days, world leaders and thousands of delegates will try to negotiate ways to cut greenhouse gas emissions amidst warnings that efforts to limit global warming are way off the track. Henry Ridgewell reports.
Year ever recorded, surpassing a crucial milestone.
The first calendar year above the psychologically important threshold of 1.5 degrees Celsius above pre-industrial.
Keeping global warming to within 1.5 degrees Celsius was a key goal of the 2015 Paris Agreement.
Once we pass certain thresholds, we can trigger climate impacts that might not be reversible.
On the current trajectory, the United Nations says the world is heading towards around 3 degrees Celsius of warming by the end of this century, leading to hotter heat waves, deeper droughts, stronger storms and more.
Annual greenhouse gas emissions at an all-time high, rising 1.3% last year.
Such is the backdrop for the 2-week COP29 climate summit in Baku, Azerbaijan, set to get underway on Monday. A key part of this year's meeting is climate financing, how richer nations will help pay for poorer countries to reduce emissions and adapt to climate change.
Without the finance domino in that line of dominoes, everything will essentially fall apart.
Azerbaijan is a major producer of oil and gas, fossil fuels that help drive climate change.
It is also a climate vulnerable country, so it gets around 50 to 70% of its water from over its borders, outside its borders. So it really is between a rock and a hard place on climate action and transition. And as such, it has a really strong interest in getting finance in place to help developing countries such as itself to find a feasible path forward.
Looming over the summit, the US presidential election victory for Donald Trump. He could again pull the United States out of the Paris Agreement that set climate goals. There are also fears of a trade war with China.
We're unlikely to be moving towards a world that is more stable with increasing climate impact. So we do need to learn to manage under these conditions of geopolitical instability, which will only increase going forward.
From the wildfires in California to the deadly floods in Spain's Valencia, scientists say climate change is driving extreme weather, and without urgent action, it will likely get much worse. Henry Ridgewell, VOA News.
29 minutes past the top of the hour, we are taking our second short commercial break right here on KUTV Weekend Live. Coming on the other side, our sports stories. Keep it KUTV, don't go too far.
Katika maisha yetu ya leo, wakulima na jamii nyingi kwa ujumla wanakumbatia teknolojia mbalimbali na kilimo hai ili kuondoa magonjwa sugu na kuongeza usalama na utoshelevu wa chakula. Mbolea asili imepunguza asidi kwenye udongo na kuongeza mavuno chungu nzima. Wajua tuko shambani, na humu shambani pia kuna ng'ombe, kuna kuku, na wanaacha uchafu wao. Na huo uchafu si wa kutupwa, ni wa kutumika katika kilimo kama mbolea. Kwa sababu mimea hii imekuwa kutumia mbolea ya hawa wanyama. Wakulima mbalimbali wamekumbatia teknolojia ili kuokoa gharama ya ukulima na kutumia nafasi zilizopo katika mashamba yao.
Hi, my name is Theo.
Jina langu naitwa Okemwa Mokwa James.
This is Mandela Gaya.
Ugonjwa ulipokuja ulichukua siku 3 ukaniweka in coma. 20 wamezikwa, 2 ndio wako hai.
I don't even know how it feels to see.
I feel like I cannot express myself well the way somebody who can walk can actually express themselves.
Ilichukua muda mwingi mrefu tena mpana ili kuikubali kwamba mimi siwezi tembea tena.
I've come to actually accept myself.
Ukijaribu kumsimamisha mtu umwambie tafadhali nionyeshe njia,
they find it quite strange talking to you.
You should just make schools integrated,
inclusive setups,
by providing the right facilities.
Ni nguzo na uso wa jamii. Kupanda shuka akawa tuzo, ukakamavu wake ukati na kumfanya mwenye bidii. Kwa machozi na makeke akabaini jinsi ya kuweni. Huyu ni mwanamke ngangari kwa jinsi alivyo ng'ari. Mimi ni mwanamke mwake. Usikose kutazama kipindi cha mwanamke mwake, nami Caroline Kimwe.
Welcome to KUTV Sports, and let's get sporty on this weekend. The second edition of Imani Folks Half Marathon is set to get underway this Sunday in Embu County, with over 500 athletes set to battle it out for the highly anticipated second edition of the Imani 7 Folks Half Marathon. Last edition's champions Leonard Kipkoech Langat and Evelyn Chirchir will return to defend their titles against a highly contested field of elite and amateur runners. The marathon, which aims to raise funds to support learners in Imani Christian School, will see top 4 finishers walk away with 150,000 shillings in the half marathon, among other prizes to be won. And 4 FKF matches are on the card this Sunday. AFC Leopards will be seeking redemption against high-flying Mara Sugar when they take to the pitch to square it out with the Millers on Sunday at Dandora Stadium. At the same time, Shabana FC will be seeking to secure all 3 crucial points when they take on Police FC at Gusii Stadium as Moranga Seal tackles Kakamega Homeboys at Sports Pesa Arena. In another match lined up for Sunday, Bandari FC will be seeking to bag yet another 3 points when they play host to Thika-based side Bidco United at Ukunda Showgrounds. Well, many thanks for joining us and choosing KUTV Weekend Live to bring you up paced and candid with the latest making headlines in the world of news on this day, the 9th day of November 2024. I hope you are adequately informed. And this broadcast will not be a success because there are some men and women behind the scenes who made sure this broadcast is a success, led by my director, Kimani James Baraka. On the sound was Ismail Akunda and Melton Conchela. And also on the graphics was none other than Nixon Njeri. And also the one who ensured this broadcast is coming to you on our social media platforms, YouTube and X, is none other than Brina Mukami. And also on the cameras was also Ismail Akunda. And on the sign language interpretation desk was Lucy Kiarie. Many thanks for joining us tonight. Once again, we do this next Saturday, same time, same place. God bless, so long, and good night.